Alright guys, welcome back. It is currently Monday the 2nd. We go back to work tomorrow. Me and Luke have got a job for 3 days, so I went there just before Christmas and I've done an EICR there, quite a big property. So there's a fuse board to change, there's going to be a car charger, downlights to change, poor insulation showing and some broken accessories, just bits and pieces all around the house. Alright everyone, it is Tuesday morning. Just met Luke at the office, picked up the EV Ultra cable. I did look at the weather, it says there might be showers today, but we'll get there, show you what's what and take it from there. So we'll see you in a bit. Alright, morning guys. So here at the meter cupboard outside, got this RCD main switch. So we're going to be taking that out and we'll just stick normal Rec 2 switch in there. Me and Luke was just looking. These tails here go through a bit of tube inside the wall and the board's actually just on the other side of this in a cupboard, so I'll go show you that in a sec. I'll try tidy this up in here. At the moment the whole earthing system of this house is on this cable, which looks like a 10mm. It just comes down to this earth rod. I actually got just under a 300 ohm reading off of that. So while Luke's changing the fuse board, we're going to dig in an earth pit. We're going to stick a new earth rod down. We'll take a 16mm from that up and into there, and hopefully we can do a test on it and show you. We'll, fingers crossed, get a lot lower than 290 odd ohms what I got. In between this window and this window, around there somewhere, we're going to stick a black hypervolt. I'll just come out the bottom and I'll see if I can clip it nice and tight under this wooden cladding and then through into where Luke is. A lot of light fittings to change, got some accessories to change, some fault finding on some high readings that we got, so plenty to do here. Okay, so we'll just walk through and show you this cupboard. Got this little wooden cupboard here. I think if we take this off the hinge just while we're working, should make things a bit easier. And then what we've got in here is we've got this main DB, pretty much got all the circuits on it. When I tested it, none of this was actually labelled, so luckily I've relabelled it, make things a bit easier going forward. Got an oil bond and a water bond. DB2 literally only has a sub-mains to the garage, and you've got a light on the front of the driveway, so this is going to go, this is going to go. Got double stack that can go in here, and we'll just get it all incorporated into one. Hopefully we can get rid of this Henley block and this earth block. These tails coming in are a bit short, so what we're hoping is this tube goes through to the meter box, and we're hoping we can just pull some new ones through, but we don't know how easy they're going to pull through, so fingers crossed with that. Just seeing that looks like the little cable that goes out to the driveway light, so if we can get out there as well for the EV Ultra maybe. And then one of these armoured goes up to the garage and the other one's just a spare, so we'll see if we can get rid of this adaptable box and try incorporate it into the board somehow. So yeah, that's what it looks like now, and we'll give you a little update as we go. Alright, little update. So Luke's took the DB2 out, you can see the Henley block's gone. We've got a bit of length on the meter side on the tail, so rather than pull new, I think it might be tricky trying to get through that conduit, so we're going to just see if we can just pull a foot or so, because I've got too much slack that side. If we can pull a bit, then he can rework them here. It's just labelling up the circuits there. Hopefully once it's out you get a bit more of a clear
Do we know
mind.
Did you find out where the spare one goes to?
That goes to the garage, but it's not being used, so if we can just leave it in the bottom somewhere, it's there for future if anyone needs it. But yeah, the more stuff you get out of the cupboard, then it seems less daunting, so I'll let Luke crack on with that, and I'll just go show you. That's the board that's going in, so it's going to be tight, but should be able to get it done. And I'll go show you what I've done outside. All the tools are under my little canopy. Turn my fixed radio down, so basically old RCD switches out. That's the length on the tails, so if we can get a few sort of, well, if we can get a foot of that through to Luke over there, then I only need a bit to go into the isolator. I've managed to dig out the old earth rod, so I'm going to dig a bit deeper, get the pit sunk in, and then I can put the new one. I'm going to try get it in a similar place because you've actually got the main incomer to the house drops down, so I don't really want to stick it in that corner. I'll try to stick it where it was. I know it's clear, but if we go and actually have a look at the old earth rod, so you can see the further you go down how corroded it actually is. Especially look at that down there. So it's no wonder it wasn't getting a great reading. So if we go get the new one, put them side to side, so you're reading through all of this, which no wonder it was poor. And then we're going to stick a nice new copper rod in. That should take the reading down a lot. So yeah, going to get that dug, maybe try get a bit of Copex out of it, clipped up this wall, and then I'll just take it in the meter cupboard and I'll do a little reading on it here and see what it comes out as. This is where we're at. So I've took this brick just away from there, made a little channel, dug in the pit, just roughly put some soil around it just to get it roughly in place. That's just sat back into the wall a bit, so we'll be able to get that back on, get the soil back in there, so you won't see none of this. And then luckily that's just sunk into the wall a bit. That can literally just get clipped straight up, and then we'll just take the earth into there. Right, so earth rod's in, didn't blow myself up. I'm not a fan of these clamps that come with it. I just think they're a bit shonky, so if I've got them, I like the ones that screw onto the thread. This one's not actually got a thread, but usually you can put it round, bolt it, you can put a lug on your earth, and then that will go with another nut onto the bolt. So if I've got them, I prefer to use them ones. But let's see what reading we've got. So clamped onto the other side of the earth. There you go. What a change that is. That was nearly 300 on the old earth rod. 12.5 isn't bad. That's really good, to be honest, so happy with that. I'm going to get a lid on that, get all this cleaned up, get the mud back down, and then that's all ready for Luke to connect it to his fuse board. Right, just had a bite to eat. Rain's been getting worse, so what I've done, just reversed right up. Probably could have gone back a bit further, but I'll settle at that. Just set up a little shelter, so I'm going to be sticking a hypervolt on this wooden cladding, because obviously you've got the bits where it steps in. I've done so the top two screws are just sort of above this plank, so by the time, if I get slightly longer ones on that bottom bit to go in that gap, then that's going to keep it nice and flush, whereas if it was maybe there, it might sort of want to sit itself out a bit. So we'll give it a go. I could have gone in and started doing some of the bits inside, some of the remedials, but it's not raining too bad, so I don't mind. Just, I've been out here all morning anyway, so I don't mind just stay out, get all this work done, and then tomorrow's a fresh day, you can go inside and change some downlights and things. So yeah, see how it goes, and I'll catch up with you in a bit.
Just mounted the board, put the earths away. In the end, with these original tails, we managed to pull a bit more through, which gave them just enough room to terminate up here. Brought through the EV cable, the charge cable. I've ended up putting both the armours in here. One of them, like we said, was a spare, and the other one I'm going to extend and put a primer nut on, just to earth it and bring it through this fireproof grommet. We've also as well just got to put this transform for the doorbell. That's actually got to go there as well, so once that's in, there's literally no more room for anything else. So like I say, it's taken a bit of time, because I've tried thinking a bit more ahead so I don't make mistakes and have to keep going forwards and backwards. But yeah, I'll give you another little update when a bit further along.
So hypervolt centre of them two windows you can see someone's put a little hanger for a basket centre as well, so good to know I'm in the right place. Managed to get the EV cable hidden pretty well, so just comes down, loops under. The only bit it had to drop back below the meter cupboard, but a couple of linion clips in there, no, not linion, sorry, D-lines, a couple of D-lines holding that up. And then what I've done is it's D-lined all the way underneath the cladding, so that is all nice and hidden. And then what I ended up doing with the mounting, obviously as you've got these bits where it steps in, don't know if you can see, just behind there I ended up cutting a couple of bits of black conduit, so I held a level on the front. When I see that it was level, I cut the conduit to what I needed. I cut one for this side, one for this side. Them two are screwed straight into the wood on this top surface, and then where you've got a gap, the conduit's just helping it so it didn't pull back and go off level. So yeah, turned out pretty well. As for the earth pit, got a bit of Copex going up to the meter cupboard. That's now a really nice reading. So we've got rid of that horrible RCD main switch, and we've just come down into a Rec 2 switch, and then they're the original tails go through to Luke. The water and the oil is on a 16mm, and then we've got our 16mm to our fuse board. All in all, it's a pretty good first day back at work for the new year. Still got a couple of hours left, so I think I'm just going to have a little clear up out here, get things nice for when the customer comes back, and I'll go through Tradeify, see what we've done, mark it off, and then I might start some stuff inside, have a little look around, make sure we've got all the materials, because if there's anything missing then it's a good chance for us to pop to wholesalers on the way home, grab anything we need for tomorrow. But yeah, going well, and Luke's cracking on with the board, so yeah, we'll give you an update in a bit. Just in the downstairs toilet, got these two down lights, as you can see. Pull it out of the ceiling, you've got, obviously that's only low voltage or extra low voltage, so not too worried about that. But then you go up and you got all these single insulation on show, earth's just twisted together, so we're gonna disconnect from here, re-terminate these two into some nice JCC V50s, get them swapped over, and we've got a few around the other rooms in the house, so we'll get them all swapped over and it'll look nice and new then, and it'll be safe. Alright, there you go, nice new V50. And you can see termination's all nice and enclosed within that, so that'll go up in the ceiling, and then we'll go around the rest of the house and just do the same. Felt like a really long first day back, but that's not surprising. Not really done much over the last week or so. Feels like you've done a day's work, you look at the clock and it's lunchtime, but hopefully the rest of the week will get better. Really proud of what Luke done in the cupboard. He's got all the circuits away in the board. It wasn't an easy one, it was very compact in there, double stack. He had to move around stuff that was in there, but yeah, he persevered and got through it. And in the morning he can just like label it up, finish any little bits he wants to neaten it up, and I can go carry on doing some of the remedials. So yeah, really happy that he just sort of took it within his stride and got on with it. I guess the next thing is try to let him do the paperwork side of it as well. I'll sit with him if there's any questions or things he's not sure about, he can ask me. We got a lot done today, so we'll catch you tomorrow and we'll just carry on and we'll take off from there. So I'll see you tomorrow. Alright, good morning. It is Wednesday, it is day 2. Just have a coffee. That's where Luke's at the moment, so nice and neat on the top where the old DB1 was, and then down the bottom a car charger circuit and the garage sub main, and I think there was just one other circuit that coming from the bottom, so loads of spare ways. Luke's just finishing off any little bits in there, labelling up, so we'll leave him to it. And if we go through to the kitchen, you can see there's 7 downlights in here, so So I'm all prepped up, got the dust sheet down, all the lights laid out ready. Got a light ready for when we turn the circuit off, and earth sleeve is tied onto the side of the steps ready. So what I'm going to do, get Luke to turn the circuit off, and then I'll just drop all of these, get them swapped over for V50s, and then I think there's a few more upstairs to do. Hopefully by that time we'll go check up, see how Luke's done in this cupboard. I've got all the lights hanging down, and as you can see, so I've only got one cable, and then we come to this side, got one here, but you can see like the earths are cut off, single insulation on show. Come to this side, it's a bit more, so you got a lot on show there, but then you've got like a random cable with just a neutral and an earth, so that concerns me a little bit. I sort of think, where's that going? And then you've also got, pull it out, it's been chucked through a bit of tube, so I might stick the ferret up just to see what's going on up there. I mean, if you pulled that out of the ceiling, you'd think, okay, but then you pull more out, you go up, it's joined on here, just left like that in the ceiling, and then you've got, again, you've got two twin and earths, and then you've got this just neutral and earth that's in like a, it's like just a single core and earth double insulated. It's a bit weird. So same again, I'm going to chuck the ferret up, see what's going on there, and then we come over to here. They've just sort of spider webbed off this point. You've got the same, you got two twin and earths here, that weird single core and earth neutral, and then another twin and earth jumped off, so it's all over the place, to be honest. This is one of the lights, got your two twin and earths and your weird little neutral and earth. You can see it's just clipped along, going through the joists, so not really a lot we're going to be able to do with that. So I think we're just going to have to cut these, remake them off into a maintenance-free junction box, keep the wiring as it is, and just make it safe, because I don't want to disconnect it, and then if that's feeding something like a light over there, then I don't want it to stop working. It's not tripping on the RCBOs, so I don't think it's linked with different circuits. So yeah, I'm just going to cut them all, make them safe, and go from there. Alright, these are all swapped over now. Put a bit of fill around where there was any cracks. This one was a bit plastered in, so that's got a bit more. Let's turn them on. Much brighter in there now. You really notice a difference when you take old downlights out and put some nice new ones in. Kitchen done, let's go on to the next room. Luke's just going to go turn these off, but look how pathetic these are. I mean, I don't know if it shows up on camera, but they are not doing nothing. Let's get them swapped over, we'll turn them back on and show you the difference. Right, these are all changed over now, so that is the JCC V50 tiltable. Close this again and see how it looks. There you go. That's much brighter than what was in here. Another nice improvement, and they're all safe. Another job ticked off the list. Right, let's show you this mess. I've got two lights left in the last bathroom. On the EICR, I pulled this one down, and you can see connector block is completely melted onto the spring, so that halogen light's obviously been getting very hot. That's just the start of it, because I pulled this one down, come over to here, and I was like, oh, why is it not pulling? I can't get the little transformer out. So let's go up into the loft and I'll show you what I found up there. Here we are up in the loft. You can see that's the cutout for the light. That's where the transformer was, and it weren't going through, and I was like, alright, okay. Pulled the insulation back, and here we have an old ceiling rose, feeds in, feeds out, and your switch line. We've taken the flex down to that first light, and then a twin and earth out the back goes along and drops down to the other light there. So nice little find. Obviously it's not always possible to see everything on an EICR, so you're going to come across extra little bits that you missed. At least we found it now. What I'll do, get rid of this cable, mark up what my feeds and switch lines are, put all this into a Wago box, and then I'll relink out to my new light there and then across to that one, get it all made nice and get the insulation back down, and that'll be them two lights fixed. So while I'm doing that, I'll go give the camera to Luke and see if he can give you a little update of what he's doing.
The board's pretty much done. I just need to label it and things like that and put a bit of cork and neaten it up a tiny bit more. So now I've just moved on to the EICR and I'm just going through the observations that had further investigation on them. On circuit 3, readings are not uniformed as expected. You've got the line is 0.15, the neutrals are 0.32 and the CPC is 0.37. What circuit 3 was, it was sockets landing left hand side, beds 1 and 2. Luckily there's only about 5 sockets on that, so I actually took the face off all of them off and had a look at the back of them. Couldn't see anything. Tightened all the terminals up on each of them, and I've come back down. So I said before the neutral was 0.32, so I'll put that on the neutral now. So the neutral's now coming out at 0.16, and the line's coming out at 0.161716. So yeah, just by taking off all the faces and just tighten up the terminals and nipping them up a bit, that's solved one of the things which was further investigation. So now I'm just gonna wait for the list and go on to the next one.
That is all fixed now. I didn't film up in the loft, but there's a Wago box, got rid of that ceiling rose, and nice and bright. So that is all the downlights done. We're gonna go have some lunch, have a look on the list and see what's left. Just commissioning the Hypervolt, and I haven't done one for a little while, so going through the testing procedure, setting this around. So on B it's sort of waiting for a charge, C it should be charging, and E as an error. Clicked it across to C and there wasn't any voltage coming on the tester. Basically this green light was just pulsing very slowly. Rung the customer service, and basically what it is, it's a delayed start, so you have to wait sort of up to 10 minutes and then it will just randomly kick in. You can get around this, so you go into the app, go into your Hypervolt, and then scroll down to the bottom and there should be delayed start or random start, and you can basically turn that off, carry out your tests, and then just make sure you turn it back on before you leave. But I've not done that, I've just left it, and within 10 minutes it's just sort of flipped itself on. So now if we go on to E, that should go into error, and you can see that's working. That's come up with a red light now, so we know that's all good. So what we're going to do, back onto charge, and you can see that's back to there. So what we'll do, go around to auto, and luckily on my tester I've got the EV setting, so if I click test, that is going to go through all the RCD tests, and it will also go through the DC RCD tests within the Hypervolt. So got no trip, 28.7, 37.8, 8.09, 17.9, and then we've got our DC milliamp reading as well, which can go on our EV test cert. All sorted. Luke's just in the garage, he's just changing, I think, a double socket. We'll leave him be. Alright, welcome back guys. It is day 3, so just coming up to the job now. Fuse boards changed, a little bit of labelling to finish on it, a few test results to get, and we've got all the paperwork to do, so I'm going to let Luke tackle all of that. If he's got any problems or issues, then I'm there, he can ask questions. One of the last remedials is a low IR reading on one of the socket circuits. Literally unplugged everything we could find, turned spurs off, went around, and it's still just coming out like, not a little bit low, like as if the cable's damaged, but like massively low, like 0.20 or 0.5 or something. It's like flicking between the two. I was saying to Luke, what we could probably do is take them out the board, split our two legs. If we go around, unplug everything again, and then just find a socket, take that off, split them at the socket, and then we can test one half from the board. And if one half of the leg is clear, then we'll pop that one back into the socket, back into the board, turn it on, see what's live, and then it'll narrow the circuit down, and then we've got one leg that's throwing the reading off, and we can go around, see what's not on, and we can kind of narrow down where the fault is, what's plugged in, and we hopefully should find it. So I'll show you that. What we've done is we've linked out live and neutral, gone to the earth, gone around the property and unplugged everything that's off that we can find on that circuit. Let's give that a test at 250, and you can see it just doesn't want to jump above 0.30. Well, taking this socket off in one of the bedrooms, just got to get the old pliers, because I think old Johnny boy's been here, twisted it all together. So we'll get all these separated. I'll touch two together, get Luke to bell them out downstairs so we know what leg's what, and then we'll run a test down one side, and fingers crossed one side's clear and we can get it back on and then look from there. This bottom leg here seems to be getting a bit of a funny beeping, as if there's some sort of voltage coming down it. We've found the other leg at the board, that was coming out okay. So what we're going to do, link to live and neutral to earth, and we're going to send 500 volts down this leg. There you go. So that leg there we know is safe. So what we'll do, we'll get disconnected back to that socket, put it in a breaker, and we'll see what comes on, and then we can sort of investigate this second leg, see what's left off, and hopefully we'll find our fault. This leg in the way goes is currently live, that's in the breaker now. Only two sockets are live, so this must be the leg that goes straight back to the board, literally the socket on the other side of this wall, and this one here. So I've just took another socket off downstairs, and we've tested this cable, and that's now clear. So what I said to Luke is we'll turn it back off, we'll move these Wagos to the new point downstairs, which I'll go show you. We'll connect this socket back on, and then what we'll find when we turn it on, it will go live up to the one that's cleared downstairs, and then there'll be more sockets that are live, and we can narrow down where we're looking. So we'll come to the kitchen. I've took this one off, you can see where some work's been done in the past. So they've extended the ring, one leg here, and then you've got a new leg here. Basically I linked out live to earth and identified this one goes all the way up to that socket I just showed you. Live to earth on continuity. On this one you'll see what I'm getting. Okay, so take that back off. But if we go on to this leg, we don't get that beeping. So live and neutral, linked through to earth. That's the one that goes all the way back up to the other socket upstairs. We'll start on 250. And you can see that leg is clear. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the Wagos from upstairs on this cable, because we know that's okay now. We'll connect the socket upstairs, and then we'll make this live, see what other sockets come live with it, and then we know we're now following this cable to find where the fault is. Now this one's live, and this is where the fault lies. So what we've done, we've gone to where we think would be a problem. So on here, obviously this bit of the kitchen is like from that wooden beam this way. This is sort of like a newer refurb. I think it used to be a toilet, the client said. So what we've got is a double socket here, and then we had this little bad boy, and that, the load on that goes to the shed outside, to supply the power out there. So I'm going to test line and neutral to earth going to the shed. So the earth's actually on the armouring, but we've got a fly lead here, so we'll go off that. And we'll go on 500 volts. And you can see that load is clear, so we're happy with that. So pull them out of the way, we know that's okay. This leg goes over to the socket that we was just testing. So we'll do the same here. Line and neutral to earth. That leg's clear. So this one will go back round the rest of the house, back to the board. Same again, line neutral to earth. And that one's clear as well. So we've tested all possibilities there. That leg back to that socket's okay, that leg back to the board's okay, and the load's okay. So it seems like the problem is this RCD spur. And now that we've done the board upgrade, this doesn't need to be in place really, because we've got an RCBO back at the board. So what we're going to do, we'll put a normal, hopefully we've got an MK fuse spur on the van, so it's matching. We'll get that on there. We'll retest back at the board with all the sockets back connected. And then if it's clear, then we know that was the problem. That is now swapped over. Luckily I had an MK1 on the van. Luke's connected that socket back up. All the sockets are back up now. You can see he's linked live and neutral to earth again. And fingers crossed, that is going to be sorted now. Perfect, so we can take that result, put that on the report, and then we can fill all the paperwork out now. That is the last remedial done. Good to look for them in the future if you get in dodgy results. Alright, we've just stopped for lunch, so I'm just going to check Traderfire and make sure we're on track of what we've got to do. There's just a big description, everything we need to do. So 2 downlights in bathroom, that's done. 3 downlights in another bathroom, that's done. 7 downlights in the kitchen. Just want to thank Traderfire for sponsoring this video, because with this software we can just easily access it on our phones, whether we're at home or on the job. Add time that we've started the job and finished. Great little app to have, keep you on track, and big up Traderfire.
That was a final product. Like I say, I was lucky to fit it all in there. I didn't have to extend any cables either, because I prefer it when you don't have to do that if it's not necessary. But yeah, I'm quite happy with it. Overall look, and it's all hidden nicely, discreetly behind that cupboard. And that's it with the cover on. Like I say, all labelled up. Day of the next inspection. Got underneath where the water, oil and gas bonding's all located. Just got the CT clamp for the hypervolt. But yeah, really happy with it.
Okay, that is job done. All in all, went better than planned. It's always hard coming back from the new year, trying to get back into the swing of things. But yeah, first day was a little bit of a struggle, and then yeah, back in the roll of it now. So really happy with the earth rod results. I'm just going to screw you because there's a massive freight train going past. Looks quite cool. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.